Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's podcast. We're talking about, actually, what I'm doing right now is I'm actually in an energy that I do not like. This is coming off of a podcast of, I think I've seen it before, with Gary Vee and some doctor lady who is, her podcast is Raising Good Humans. However, she's a fraud and her personality sucks and she's like super boring. She's not a good human and she doesn't raise good humans. She raises women like the Kardashians. I want you to be aware of what I just said. So she's out there with all this money and all this fame and all this clout, and she's out there trying to teach you about her skills she learned in her medical degree of the doctor, and talking in a way that is just so fucking annoying to get you as an audience to like her, and then try to guide you into raising good humans as a Democrat. But what she's teaching is entitlement and delusion. But she's so delusion in her doctorate that she doesn't even realize that she's teaching a delusion because she's so rich and everything's been so handed to her, and her version of struggle is literally bullshit. She's the type of mom that you go to college and try to show off for her friends because she's a doctor. He says in the beginning of the podcast, he calls her a doctor. And then she calls herself a doctor again. And then the voice actually reminds me of an actress that's in a television series called Suits, who was the head of Harvard. So her podcast is boring. It doesn't let children be themselves. The key to parenting is to support them, educate them on good moral values, teach them what right and wrong behavior is by being a good human. And even you have to know what being a good human is, because you have to be a good human. These people in these elite circuits who are being blessed by being able to be seen by millions of people are not good humans, yet they're trying to teach you how to reshape your thinking to think like a Democrat so that they can make money off of your inability to now be a human, because they don't want to really actually take a look that your child might have like real versions of autism. They want to take a look at the perfection of a beautiful child, how the looks of it, versus what a child is actually dealing with. That's really what we're dealing with social media and children. It's all about how they look as a parent. It's all about how many people are saying good things about you as a parent, how you're occurring as a parent versus actually being a parent. No longer, this is a tricky conversation, because I had a real parent, and we were as young individuals surrounded by some women that behaved like that woman. And we distanced ourselves from people like that because we don't like people like that. Although those are what people were drawn to, not because they were real nice to hang out with, but because they wanted the feeling of power and control, or an elite status to engage them in money. While they then guided their children on how to be fake frauds and abuse, and then brag about how their child lives in New York City and is making tons of money. While they make tons of money. And that means they did a good job raising a child, but all they ever did was worry about themselves. And then the whole time that they were worrying about themselves, they weren't doing for anyone else. They were only doing for themselves and their own children. Selfishness. While they tell about their struggles of living in a small one-bedroom. I ain't talking about Gary here either, by the way. I'm talking about other people like yourselves, talking about how you struggle because of this and that and all this bullshit. Well, that happened 45, 55, 65, 75 years ago. You forgot what it was like. And even back then, there was a strand of narcissistic personality disorder. And you weren't even in that apartment, but what, a year? Those types of individuals keep the doors closed for the rest of us, while a professional sits in front of you behind a bar while you try to disrespect them because you have more money. Or you're a person sitting at my table because I'm a server and because you're in cahoots with the corruption. You're going to abuse me. Many layers to this conversation. However, how they treat adults is how they treat children. Although it's worse with children because children don't really understand what the Constitution means. Although if you've been born in this country, there is an inkling of what it feels like. And that's what the Democrats are trying to change. They're reshaping the thinking around our Constitution and what it means to be free while trying to make everyone a victim, and then offering up leadership roles to self-righteous, selfish people who don't want to offer anything to anyone except for go to the Olive Garden, order this unlimited soup and salad, stack bowls up this high, be illogical, erratic, narcissistic, gross, fart at the table, and then get a free dessert because it's one of their birthdays while they take their shoes off under the table. And this is all the Democrat Al Sharpton's behavior. That's who they want in leadership roles while they say equality. While they selectively choose who they're going to create as slaves, including a black woman who's standing in front of me, serving my table. So now we have a hierarchy system of what's being exposed for the black community that's stemming to the parenting of how they parent their children, of the most darkest, ghetto-ass, nasty style of living individuals that Al Sharpton is crying out for equality. These aren't Tim Cooks, these aren't Tims or Richards or Donalds, Byron Donalds. These aren't teachers we saw at the Republican National Convention. Do you hear me? These aren't Star-Spangled Banner singers who were amazing. No, those are the people they're trying to hold down. And then they point fingers at the white man as if the white man's doing it, but it's actually your own race. I actually shared with you a pastor today who has perfect capability of being in the House of Representatives. He's being infiltrated by the political system because he's not learning appropriate ways of leadership because they want him to do the corrupt path. He can't distinguish the difference between the two because all he's known is what Chicago Obama bullshit has taught him, and so he can't recognize God from the devil. Although now he's a Republican. He wants to help his people, but Obama doesn't want to help the people. He wants to help the elite so he doesn't have to deal with the people. So Obama and Biden and Kamala have enlisted people like the doctor on Gary Vaynerchuk's podcast to it's a violent kindness of not allowing people to really be themselves. You're not allowed to argue. You're not allowed to have opinions. You're only allowed to have their opinions. You're only allowed to agree to their sexiness and their seduction. You're only allowed to do the nasty stuff they want you to do. And if you don't, They will violently abuse you. They will cancel culture you. They will destroy your career, your life, your family, whatever it takes to put you into submission, to make you feel like you are inferior. To make you feel like you're inferior. However, everyone around you is confused as well because you are the leader. So this is what we talk about when it comes to the feeling of strength. It is always stemming for your children even of knowing bravery, courage, what it means to be eager, what it means to be patient, what it means to be balanced. And they're trying to take all of these different things and put it on Kim Kardashian to be the one to educate our children while trying to steal my children's bee friends by giving it to a Persian who can't even find her way out of a paper bag. Because she wants glamour, because she wants a diamond, and because she was born into money. While she looks good doing it, traveling this country, traveling the globe, forcing Gary Vaynerchuk to hold her hand and kiss her. Because that is the secret behind Hollywood and the elite of podcasting. They're pairing up narcissists. They're pairing up bad individuals. They're forcing men like Ryan Reynolds, like Adam Levine, to stay with these people so that they can keep the peace, so the political system can work offense and defense. Do you really think personalities like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are a match? No. But it's good for her career. So we enlisted Travis Kelce to go undercover, deep undercover, to figure out what this girl is actually up to, and she's taking this shit global. See, celebrities think they're more important than politicians, like Jennifer Lawrence. She thinks she's more important than a union worker. And that's where your idea in your head around racism comes from. So the Democrats call out they want to help the middle class. That's a lie. They only want to help the Democrats, but not poor Democrats. Now they're using those individuals with low income to fuel energy and angst. So you if you don't make a lot of money, you generally feel like sorrow and want and jealousy and all this stuff. Might be subconscious, but you're operating in this low income bracket because the Democrats have always held you down. They've taken the pastor that I showed you out of Chicago and they've weakened him while pretending to assist him when all they're trying to do is to fuel their agenda so that they can win and it can look like he gets small wins. When in actuality, they confuse and lack of clarity, which is coming to fruition in what you're seeing. So his man is a great pastor out of Chicago, has the ability to become a House of Representatives, to be the mayor of a city, to actually make a difference for the Black community in Chicago. But that's a risk for the Democratic Party. That's a risk for your children, that they'll actually grow up with intelligence and courage and bravery. Because if you get courage and bravery, children, you're going to wake up to the Democrats and how the devil is working with the Democrats. See, what people don't like about Donald Trump is that he is an upstanding citizen. He follows law and order, and he can do it because he is respected by community. Because he has a skill of being charismatic, having creativity. He has all the positive things, and he's strong. He's a strong person, and he doesn't put up with corruption. And so when people came to him at first, he didn't just jump in and agree to the behavior. That's why they don't like him. He said, well, let me think about this. So he went around these people doing investigative work even before he knew he wanted politics, but they already were talking to him about politics because he was already telling you that he didn't like the way the government was being ran, and he saw ways of corruption against the American people. You go watch the old videos of the way the way personally that he spoke. And you'll see him talking about politics and the government and how he disagreed with Bill Clinton and even some of the other Republican leaders at that time, reminding you that there were Democrats always with their finger in the cookie jar, trying to figure out a way to sell out this country so that they can make more money, but they are already wealthy by selling out the people. We all know there's been rumors about Obama bringing needles to the streets of California. We've had celebrities tell us that Kanye West told us that. Bringing drugs to the streets to keep the black man down, but has charismatic behaviors to make you forget that actually happened, and then the silencing game of the forgetful game of that didn't happen. It happened. It's a skill and a tactic of a politician when you can convincingly tell an audience of things that aren't true because you give them a little nugget. A nugget could look like a smile, a laugh like Kamala Harris, a comment of something that hits you just right. For example, with Joe Biden, with the black jobs conversation, a physician is downplaying the not wealthy individuals by saying, this is a black job, I'm a doctor. But that tells you how selfish that doctor is and that anesthesiologist. But that also tells us how lack of clarity he has around what's going on in politics. Unless you're being paid for, sir. Unless the Democrats are paying you. Now, we're speaking about black jobs to people who are down on their luck, who need something to pay their bills because they can't put food on their table, and they don't actually like collecting Section 8. Are you going to train them, doctor? Who's going to clean your toilets, doctor? Who's going to mow your lawn, doctor? See, these people, like the doctor on this show that Gary has on, is only thinking about herself, not actually about delivering to an audience. Because if she actually cared about children and growing and raising good humans, there'd be controversy associated to her. Not seduction controversy like Kim Kardashian shows you with her tits hanging out. See, what they do in their podcast is they show conflict. What you're doing wrong. That's a title that you see to make you feel bad, to get you interested in what am I doing wrong? To where you then go inside the podcast to wait to hear what they say, a millionaire says, that you're doing wrong in your business, but they never get to the bottom line of what you're doing wrong. They want you to fall for their ASMR microphone. They want you to fall for their charisma or their money, how much money they have. They want you to fall for their hair and makeup and their pretend kindness, their tone of voice where they use subliminal messages. And then they are fueled by the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party is controlling the media, controlling the internet. The Democrat Party are in control. That's the problem, is they're trying to reshape reality into a delusional existence where only certain individuals win. And it's clear we got clarification from what people are feeling as take all politicians out from what happened over the last 4 days and focus on how our soldiers' parents were treated. focus on the death of American citizens by migrants, or how a rancher's farm is overcome with migrants and a government system of Democrat who just don't give a shit. Speaking to IVF, that's your conversation telling us that jobs are being created. That is a complete, utter fucking lie. I could tell you that I just made 6,000 jobs. Which technically, if you take a look at the people making money off my content, I have done more than that for you all as a nation. The difference is you're making money and I make $0. Showing you what greed looks like and what out of integrity looks like for a business, because are you helping the Republican Party? And I say that loosely because I don't even want to bring into the awareness of Republican. No, this is good Republican versus evil Democrats. Evil is The View. Evil is Obama. Evil is Persian. See, they're trying to glamorize that seduction of what a Persian thinks of themselves, and that is a fucking fraud, a fucking lie, and she's a fucking shallow ass bitch. Her comment in the comment section after Gary Vee busted his face out by his employee, because that's how angry he is, which is your sign, did not come onto his platform to apologize. That's somebody who holds himself accountable, but that's somebody who's weak. You could have killed him. Did you even care? Did you even feel guilt inside of you? Because most of this generation, they are hanging in the balance of how many likes and follows did the video get, to where they go behind the scenes and they laugh it out. Clearly injured. Depending on how you reacted to my video of what I produced or what I said or what I commented on, that's your sign of your out of integrities. Her comment said, no, as if it was no big deal. Doesn't have a capacity to care. Only cares about her fucking self and how she's going to get on the cover of a magazine, which is a piece of herself in some form in a photograph at a party. It literally clearly shows that she doesn't give two shits about VeeFriends or the books that are coming out from Meet Me in the Middle. She's merely there to show that her and Gary are together so that she can show you as audience that she's not lying and that she's the victim. However, how did you feel when she was in the room? Because that's what you want to really take a look at. What was the energy in the room when she walked in? How did you feel after the event? Did you feel safe? Were you interested in what he had to say? Because it surely looks at the winelibrary.com that she looked like she was bored. She looked like she was miserable, and she didn't give two shits about the people that took their time out of their evening to come to an event to learn, not support Gary Vee. Because that's a lot of the conversation that was probably delivered at the end of the evening. Thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate it. I'm so humble, blah, 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 blah. All the 12 and a half emotional ingredients. No, these people were there to get educated. That's the whole point of this whole bullshit. That's the point of a podcast. But the way the Democrats work is, thanks for supporting me. We need votes. We need votes, AOC says. There's your sign. Watching people stand on the stage at the Republican National Convention tells you who Donald Trump's children are. What they represent and what they stand for is for helping the people, doing for others. They're in it to win it in the game of giving, of ensuring that you as an American feel safe, that your children feel safe, that your children have opportunity. There's proof, factual proof of financial failures of Americans speaking out against the Democratic Party, and they still have the audacity. They still have the audacity to bullshit you by telling you that Donald Trump wants a different America. Yeah, we want a different America than Mona Van showing up at VCon speaking on a stage about how she became vegan. No one gives a fuck about you, Mona Van. Not her last name, by the way. How is it that a Persian, a Armenian, influencer named Paris Hilton show up at the White House in front of Kamala Harris and then tries to do brand and business deals to make money off of you as citizens when they're already rich? They have no intention of helping anyone except for building their bank accounts and working celebrity bullshit, while distracting me from you as American citizens so that I can fucking try to destroy them and make it look like I'm here as a lone soldier. You do get that the message is every single fucking day is that I'm here over here by myself with you all acting just like them, wanting to see that shit. That is what they're telling me. And then they show it to me by putting in my TikTok feed prostitute after prostitute after prostitute with hundreds and thousands of likes. Well, I sit over here with 0 followers. What does a follow mean to me? It's somebody out there who's getting educated, who's interested in doing right by this country or the globe. I don't do this because it's fun. I don't do this for money. I do this for my country and the heritage of the United States of America and the real Constitution. Not this bullshit, she, shim, they, the, thee, thou. No, that's somebody who's unintelligent and who is down on their luck, but also evil as fuck. Do you understand a man who's willing to adopt and hire IVF, who's gay, who has nails out to here, who instantly films an infant, who has no heart or soul inside their chest, is selfish? Do you understand even more a man who wears a wig or grows his hair long and acts like a woman and then tries to teach the youth on how to be a tranny is selfish? Not about tranny. This is not about being tranny. I want you all to know this because I highly respect Caitlyn Jenner. No, this is about disrespect for the youth and for this country because you took it onto platform, and the way you took it out to platform was completely sadistic and self-righteous and self-centered and at cause for your publicity stunt. And then you roped in companies like Bud Light by corporate members of their companies because the government has their finger in all of this shit. You may, as a company owner, not be involved in the Democrat bullshit, but your staff is. And then they all compete with each other, do bad business deals with each other, and sell out the children and the future of this country so that they can make money and that we can all suffer. Understand that they do not care about how you feel. One woman over here tells you I'm being violently abused by our Democrat system, that I'm being abused by a woman named Mona Van, And she has the audacity to go onto her Instagram platform after I've worn a happy shirt. Literally, I showed you the shirt on my Instagram account to show you the shirt that says happy. A t-shirt. And she, the next day, posts on her platform, this is what I do to be happy. I just let it go and I don't talk about it. To make herself look like the victim as she sits on a stage showing off a diamond ring, traveling the globe while she abuses millions of you who are acting like her because you want fame and fortune because that's what she taught you. Reminding you that she's not American, she's Middle Eastern. She works for Biden. You say you want the long game, but you are all playing the short game. You think this lifetime is long game. Well, what happens after you die? Why don't you let me know? Well, you believe in heaven, you're talking about God, and you said the word God. So if you said the word God, then you believe in heaven, and then you believe in hell. So you must be thinking that you're going to go to hell because can't possibly in your fucking minds think that the way that Mona Van has treated me, while showing it on video, you know that I'm perfectly sane. The key point in all of this is that I'm mentally stable. I'm mentally sane. I have a background in education. I have a resume that's this long and videos up the wazoo of myself educating you on proper behavior of the Constitution, as well as a human. Whereas all she's showing you is how much money she has, trying to eradicate herself into arousal of your senses to show her how great she is. Well, I don't give a shit what you think about me because I'm here to fight against your subconscious, save you from yourselves, and bring awareness to those of us around us who are sane. And to combat the evil, to destroy them, because you better believe that there are evil people out there. Men and women. I focus oftentimes on the women because the women are actually the worst. The whole point of this conversation is to show you the evolution of society is real and that our children are at risk in an evolution of an advancement of what these Democrats and what they hold for the future of themselves. That's how illogical these people think. Your job as a leader and a politician is everything that the Republicans represent. Every single ounce of Donald Trump is about business, is about people. And every time you watch him talk to an American citizen, you feel his authenticity, you feel his strength, and you feel his will to survive so that he can make America great again. And there is nothing wrong with saying make America great. The problem in your evidence, Democrats, is you think there's something wrong with caring about America, because that's what make America great again means. The again part tells us how bad you're failing. That means you can't hold yourself accountable for things that you've mistaken, meaning you've got a lot of secrets and cobwebs in your closet that we don't even know about, because you couldn't even admit at the debate, Biden, that you killed our American soldiers when Afghanistan occurred. That means you are forgetting about the things that you're doing, which means that you don't care about America. This ain't Disneyland when the American people are suffering and you're showing us prostitutes in our face that we don't want to watch, but the men are jacking off to, talking about the youth. See, all they're trying to show you is a fraud existence. We all know that we're out here battling every single day. We're battling the people at our jobs. We're battling our customers because we're all fucking sick and tired of it. And then they go on to the fucking platforms and they wave in our faces how much money they have by showing off their new houses, their new cars, their new hair and makeup. They love going to Beverly Hills, showing off their fiancés, showing off our friend so that she can build a platform off of his good hard nature so that she can disguise how evil she fucking is. While you as audience are not falling for it, but some of you are. Or is it bots? So we're in a nation now of no trust, no law and order, and unethical practices that takes the world to war. So that we can watch already rich people get richer while we can barely put food on our table, while they show off their clean dinner eat party with a private chef and a housekeeper, how they're on a private jet and how they're on a fucking yacht, and none of which they paid for. Their daddy paid for it. While they act as if they're sweet. This dress cost me $6. This necklace cost me $2. And that's too expensive. I can't even afford that because that's what's been taken away from me since the Democrats have taken office. Not to mention the unrest of just walking through Walmart, of perversion from people around me that may or may not even be coming from them, but it doesn't fucking matter. It's still in the room, which means you're to blame because you're not protecting this country. You're participating in their diabolical nature because they've gotten you addicted to pornography and you're not even willing to take a look that you're the one who's responsible for that shit. So no longer is it safe to walk into Lowe's and have a neighborly conversation with a man as a woman. No longer is it safe to say thank you without an implication of expectation that they're going to get aroused by standing next to me when I'm literally there to buy wildflower seeds so that I can grow in my garden plants because I can't afford to buy a $45 plant because I don't and cannot find a job in the United States of America. However, I'm a skilled professional. And that's what this country has turned into because of millennial and Gen Zs who are supporting the Biden administration and trying to be like Persians and Palestinians because that's what they're trying to turn American culture into. So whatever you saw the last 4 days at the Republican National Convention was amazing. It was powerful. It was strength, and it was for the American people. For you to hear, for once, the problems and concerns that are really going on in this nation. Not pie in the sky that we need to lead with love. You go over there and you lead with love and see how many fucking results you get from an Al Sharpton. Because I can assure you that Kamala Harris and Biden and Motivand and Kim Kardashian and all those little hoes at the fucking white party, you try leading with love to them and see what fucking happens. That is not what it takes at this time to build a strong government, to build a strong military. And that is your second sign how they don't know what the fuck they are doing. That pie in the sky bullshit that they're spouting is just for you to like them. This conversation shit that AOC and redheaded bitch Psaki are up to is a copy off of my platform. And all they're fucking doing is terrorizing people. Acting. Are you falling for it is the question. If you're falling for it, then I don't even know what to tell you about this, because they are fucking psycho. Look at my face and look at my eyes and go look at AOC. Don't be careful not to look her too closely in the eye, because she'll get you. A tactic they think they learned from me. However, it ain't me they working off of. They working off of Obama's bullshit and fraud existence. Because you can't fake authenticity. You can't call Cannes Lions authentic, because if you call it authentic, you're calling out all the inauthenticities that are showing up. Do you understand? If you called Cannes Lions as a theme authenticity, this is how it works, folks, and you're not authentic, then the only thing in any area, even if you're seriously authentic, the only thing people can recognize are the inauthenticities that you're showing in their faces. A good person will look like nervousness. A strong person will actually create a form of discomfort over inauthenticity. So Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce were examples of that. Humor. The mask is humor for Jason. Characteristics of real human beings who are real Americans that Persians are trying to steal and copy to get approval from a Super Bowl, couple Super Bowl winners, so that she can seduce a married man. So that she can feel something in her private parts. And don't you try me, Kylie, Princess Kylie. I can't stand your ass either. You're negative as fuck, and it's all on fucking camera. You did it to your fucking self. The point is he's married. It doesn't matter who it is to. But Mona Van is willing to disrespect anybody that she comes into contact with so that she can look like her brand and image. And she'll enlist anyone with lies and gimmicks to get herself to the top, including kiss my husband and hold my husband's hand, while abusing 45 million individuals, and think she's going to get away with it with no repercussions. She thinks that those videos that I make toward Gary Vee are about Gary Vee. And then she thinks she's winning. And I go through this with you all constantly and consistently. That's how intense this shit gets over here. This is an awareness game of what these motherfuckers are up to destroy humanity. This is to destroy VeeFriends, to make it a demon Democrat bullshit to control the youth so that they believe in the devil and activities like what Mona Van is up to. That shit is fucking gnarly, nasty garbage. Every American who's a real American can see right through my shit of authenticity, by the way. And can see Gary's pain. That's pain that's coming off of the two of us, that we can't be together. And that's the American government under the Democrat regime. I can't be with the man that I love because it's bad for their business. I can't be with the man that I love, and then I have to watch him with an arranged situation, or I might be killed. Because I actually represent substance for you as the American people. And she represents their agenda. And that's what Donald Trump's fighting for, is he's fighting for love. No, real authentic love, not codependency nonsense and bullshit or self-righteous worshiping. We're fucking tired of it. Now that we're into 45 minutes of conversation, you know how long it takes soldiers for this shit to download. So I'm going to stop the conversation here. I'm going to get on my spin bike and I'm going to do a little bit of working out, because the other thing that these bitches like to do is they try to take away passions from you. My passion, I love to work out. They don't. They were jealous of my bodybuilding show. They were jealous of the hard effort and work. And those of you, Laura Trump, who knows what it takes to work out and eat healthy, knows the structure that it takes and how good it feels to have structure around existing when everything around you is chaotic. And these bitches tried to steal it from me so that I get fat and they can steal my joy. Because when I don't get my workout in, I don't feel as joyful when I'm not working out. So my workouts bring me joy. And joy for them brings them insecurity. So they stop me from my passion so that they can feel good about themselves. So they feel good when I feel bad. And that's how they've been working this platform and this sequencing of events for God knows how many fucking years, because they're insecure and they don't know how to generate anything on their own. So they just rob the world and get worship and do nothing for anyone else except collect cash, get applause, and abuse those of us who are up to the right shit. They say, keep America great, and that's what Hollywood thinks great is. New age evolution of all of this is they're now, instead of doing a lot of this behind the scenes, they're bragging about it to our faces. Gloating is everything on Monovan's platform. And now they're enlisting foreigners into this country who were born into money, who crossed the border illegally, and then calling themselves American. While the youth protect them over an American citizen. And that's the same shit of a homeless person. So this is not unique to just me. These are Americans across this whole country that are being affected by this. Homeless people are sleeping on the streets when Newsom loses billions of dollars to house migrants, or pockets it for his own private getaway to the Bahamas or wherever the fuck that he goes, while smoozing you over with his big waxed back hair, reminding you that he's related to Pelosi. They'd rather house migrants to get votes than to assist our homeless population off of our American dollars. That alone in itself tells you everything. This is a fact. All news reporters are showing this to us. IVF, $40,000, and then you're going to brag that it took you 4 times to get pregnant, and then you're going to ignore the child. Going to use the child for publicity. And then you're going to try to promote abortion. For a girl who had a one-night stand, then you're going to put her up on the stage. She's going to whine and cry because she's getting paid to abuse people who actually really need an abortion. Do you understand what's going on here? These are babies we're talking about here. That's not a form of birth control to have an abortion, although that's the way Kamala represents abortion. They're trying to be gods. They're trying to tell you if you can have a girl or a boy instead of letting God decide, or the path of life to decide what you have. That's fucked up. They don't see it that way because what they want is what they get. Understand that? They choose if they have a girl or a boy because they don't want to live with what they have. Called eugenics. Our incomes are lowering because influencers think it's more important for them to walk around and show off their tits and ass. And they do not care that we are all suffering. You as Americans are 20-something years old, and we're all watching you. Republicans are all watching you. And you don't give a fuck about the American people. And you know that the Democrats are going to give you a free ride with a free viral piece of content. So they invited a Canadian named Alex Cooper into this country to terrorize all of us while she tries to act like she's just like you. Canadian. While her parents praise her for it. So Americans are suffering, but Alex Cooper is living the high life and trying to give you her glamour. That's called entitled delusion. The art and magic of influence is getting you to be uplifted in a nugget, which is a cover-up for the pain so that you don't have an opinion of your own. So they mind control you into liking them. That's not a good leader. That's someone who's a sellout. Then they have the audacity to brag that they're getting married and saying, I don't know how I found such a wonderful man. I don't know how I found such a wonderful man. He's so wonderful to me. Let me show off my flowers while you're going through a divorce. While a woman like Alex Cooper stole your husband and now he's fucking mentally ill. Or he was mentally ill to begin with. Well, I just tell the man to go on then because you can have him. Oh, because you're not a human. And so now you're teaching people how not to have feelings while teaching people about feelings. Very confusing, isn't it? It's called reshaping the thinking into mind control. That is all I have for you.